Well, African American History Month is a time when the country acknowledges the challenges and celebrates the achievements of African Americans. It's also a good time to teach resiliency to everyone, including kids. Psychologist Dr. Alana Coffey is here to tell us how to do just that. Good morning. Welcome back, Doctor.
Hi. Good morning. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, too. Talk more about what this month means and about resiliency and how it all ties together.
Right. Okay. So as a psychologist, we study child development. And in child development, one of the things that's so important is that child's identity and their sense of belonging. And that sense of identity and belonging rolls right into their ability to develop their own means of resilience. And resilience is that skill that we all have to meet a challenge and rise and even persevere above it. And so having those cultural identities and those ethnic identities, both as individuals and people of a nation or a community, very important for that. And so we celebrate African Americans in February, but in Hawaii all year long we're celebrating someone. And I love like going to an obon, dance, or a pageant, or we have Greek festivals. So we here in Honolulu know the importance of those belonging communities and sharing our different cultural traits, and that makes us stronger.
I think it's also important not just to share the cultural traits, but as you were saying, maybe about how we got here, our past and how it all ties in to our present, and about resiliency and maybe some of the struggles that we had to endure and the achievements that we've made. So how do we do that? How do we teach resiliency to our kids?
Right. So one of the ways that we do it individually is in our homes is we open up those old family albums and talk about who these people are in our family. So for example, my children know maybe their great-grandparents or the parents above that, but if you ask a child, they're not really sure about 3 and 4 generations behind that. So even a simple task of teaching who is great-grandmother's grandmother is very important for them to know, oh, wow, I have these long, deep roots. And the reason why that's important is, if I get a C on a math test or a D on an English performance, not a problem, because I can call back on this family member who back in the day, who kind of resembles me, who really did persevere during their struggles, which were great struggles.
Okay. And how do you kind of relate that to persistency, and because they're kind of one and the same?
Yes.
What would you tell a parent on how to teach kids that?
Yeah, I think resilience and persistence is the same. For parents, I think one of the things that we do is try to remove all of the obstacles and all of the adversities. We want our children to have, fairly smooth lives, but that's not possible. So even as parents, we have to understand that if there is a hurdle or a challenge, that's an opportunity then to teach in real time, in real life, how to persevere. And that means acknowledging that that child's going to be sad and frustrated and confused and scared, and yet we still keep moving. Because if the people before us didn't keep moving, we wouldn't be here. So we have these very real examples.
And I think also just to keep those lines of communication always open, and don't just assume that your child is okay with whatever is going on, but always ask them, on a daily basis, right? Like, how you doing? How's it going?
And expect a deeper answer, because I think that sometimes they're really like, oh, how was your day? And it's very casual, but really a deeper answer. When we talk about ethnicity and culture, it's a very sensitive subject, right? Because people can easily take offense. But I think these are conversations that, again, one of the things that Hawaii does very well is we're invited to talk about those things of culture and ethnicity, and those are strengthening things. And they are our means of existence, and we can look in the mirror and see ourselves. So we might as well talk about them, but by all means talk about it with children, and make things like family trees, and from the past and even into the future. There's some very wonderful concrete activities that they can do. Recommend it.
I think it's a good lesson for the entire Ohana, because honestly, if you ask me who my great-grandmother's grandmother or great-grandmother is, I wouldn't know. All those, generations ago. So it's a good thing to do and a great time to do it.
We have those moans, right? We have like crests and tartans, and people have ways of like actually marking their, past. So it's a fun activity, and I actually do it in my practice quite a bit. It's like, let's go back a ways and try to discover.
Very good lesson. All right, thank you so much for joining us for today's Keiki Talk. Have a good weekend, Dr. Coffey.
You too.
Thank you.